Right. Here we are in the grounds of the Orwell with young Alan Johnson, who's here as a part of the book festival, and his fourth book that he's written is In My Time, basically your music life, isn't it?
In my life, it's a music memoir, yeah.
Right.
It's 25 years from 1957, my earliest political memory,
right,
to the time 25 years later when I accepted that I wasn't going to have a career in rock and roll, either as a singer or a guitarist or as a songwriter.
Yeah, you seem to suffer very much with many guitars being stolen.
Oh, yeah.
You know, all your kit, the whole lot. I mean, you must have been targeted. They must have known.
No.
It was just
completely
opportunist
separate incidents. But, you know, for anyone who thinks crime only began in the 80s, I mean, it was rife around London in the 60s. So...
Actually, I was reading your bit about Kensington when there was that crime, there was murders, and life goes on, doesn't it? And it, you know, it carries on, and that's what it is. And you were Home Secretary, so you must have seen how difficult it is to encourage people to stay on the straight and narrow.
There are people who trade in nostalgia as if the 50s was an era of peaceful innocence. It was an era of rising crime, as every era was, until... about the mid-90s when it started to come down. Now it's going up again. So two bands I was in folded because all of our gear got nicked.
Yeah, it did. You got nicked. You you were left strumming mid-air. Mind you didn't sell your Spanish guitar or give it away until you bought a 12-string. Yeah, we'll gloss over that, will we? I mean, did you have a lot of success with it, or...?
12-string was just for my personal use. It wasn't for the band.
Right.
It's the electric guitars that got stolen.
Okay. Well, I'm 5 years older than you, and I lived in a rural area down in Devon, in a village. We were all very poor, but we were all poor together. And then I read the level of poverty within an urban setting, and somehow it seems a bit more harsh.
It's true, isn't it? Yeah,
because we had Dartmoor to go on, we could get to the beaches and all that sort of stuff. So the geography we're in really gave us somewhere to be going and a place that was all our own.
I think it's an important point that people think that if you're living in the countryside you can't possibly be poor, but some of the most deprived areas are in Cornwall and Devon and rural areas.
And also in this area.
But I think you make a good point. You know, I suppose there is a difference where you're living in an area of such beauty, and you've got the beach nearby, and you've got an abundance of, vegetation around and all that. The inner city slums, somehow seems more serious, the poverty.
And unusually, in my case, my homes, two of which we had, and they were both council houses, are still there, being lived in. Yours, it would appear, had to make way for the Great West Way coming all the way through.
Thank God.
So, all that's gone.
Thank God all those squalid houses were pulled down.
Absolutely.
The houses we lived in were condemned as unfit for human habitation in the 30s.
Really?
But eventually, in that 10-year period, in the 50s and the 60s, all those slums in Glasgow, Manchester, Liverpool...
They all went.
And those dreadful unsanitary conditions, which Dickens would have recognised, went with them. So thankfully, I think that's a part of our past.
So now you're living in Yorkshire, it would appear, from what I've read. So which part of Yorkshire are you in? Are you on the coast or are you in the moors?
No, East Yorkshire.
Oh, right.
No, we're over closer to North Lincolnshire, so we're just the other side of Goole.
Well, thank you for coming, Alan. Thank you for giving me a few minutes. And the final question, 2020 is coming. We are apparently going to have a new Conservative leader and a new Prime Minister. Have you got any idea at all, better than anybody else, of how our Brexit dilemma may pan out?
No, I don't think anyone knows. All I know is there's a deal on the table.
Yes.
And we've got till October the 31st to pick it up.
Or not.
It's a reasonable deal, and it gives us 2 years then to negotiate a trade deal.
A better one.
And we're out of the common agricultural policy, we're out of the common fisheries policy, we're out of free movement, we're out of all the things that I think, although I voted to remain, were the main issues that people who voted to leave were concerned about.
Right.
And we'll be out of all of that, but we'll still have the prosperity that we gain through trading with the biggest commercial market in the world.
Absolutely, which now has just struck a massive deal apparently with South America, which makes it even bigger.
Replicate, but we can only try and replicate it because we don't have the power. If you're doing a trade deal, I was a trade secretary.
Yes.
You're doing a trade deal. People want to trade with the biggest
unit.
of people. So half a billion people in Europe, you're going to negotiate a better trade deal than just negotiating for 60 million in.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just common.
It's sort of self-evident, isn't it? Big numbers.
It's the law of gravity in trade talks.
Anyway, it's a moment of great sadness that you will be no longer joining Michael Portillo and Andrew Neil, because that is
a shame. Yeah.
Is there any plans in the works? Because we need something, because it's much more cerebral, I think, and people that appear on it seem to be quite well informed. We're not getting that level of
there's
show.
No other program that provides that kind of relaxed environment where you can do more than just issue sound bites, which is why it gets so many viewers, even though it's on late at night, and why it's been going for nearly 16 years. So I don't know why the BBC have decided.
It's a bit odd, isn't it?
It's a terrible decision.
Lovely to have met you.
Thank you.
And you enjoy your life.
Thank you.
Bye
very
now.
much. Cheers.